a podcast. You know what? Podcast is back. We're doing a podcast. All right, what's a gaming topic? Let's go to Kotaku and then talk shit about them.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the video game podcast with Mari and Stacy. It's a little too bright, but that's okay. My bangs kind of look like a dork's bangs.
The next God of War game is delayed to 2022.
That hurts, but
I didn't even realize it was coming out this year, to be honest.
Okay, I know that everyone keeps talking. You know what? Let's review Gamer Pride merchandise. Welcome to the Geek Remix podcast. It's back. We had technical difficulties. Now we're reviewing video game Pride merch. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Gonna do this. I actually like this one. I know it looks busy, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of gay people are going to say it looks ugly, but I like it.
Doesn't it say that you can't actually buy it? It's just like a...
Is it just a skin?
Is it actually...
Clothing featuring designs. Microsoft offering a Pride 2021 Xbox wireless controller, a lovely rainbow sporting custom gamepad that'll only be available to select influencers and members of the media. Yeah, damn it! But that's us. Give it to us.
So nobody can have it.
So no one can have it. Oh.
That's how we be inclusive. We don't let anybody actually buy it.
All right, but can I get it? But anyway, give us one, please, and then we'll say it's cool. I promise. But you guys already know I said it was stupid.
Oh, I talked to a coworker today, and long story short, I was making fun of him for being an Xbox guy.
Why? Oh, is he console only?
Well, no, he's just so because we had previously talked about PlayStation games. And he was like, oh, so is that just mostly the stuff that, and I was like, yeah, I'm not an Xbox person.
Well, everything on Xbox you can also play on PC, so it's
yeah,
who's really an Xbox person anymore? What other news? Last month's most popular Twitch clip was just a butt.
I mean, if Xbox is much cheaper than getting a gaming PC though, right? So
yes. Yeah. Yes, it is. Super Mario Brothers movie restoration adds 20 minutes of deleted scenes. Fuck yeah. I don't care what anyone says. If you watch this movie not knowing it's a Mario Brothers movie, it's pretty cool. It's pretty weird and pretty cool. It's a dystopian...
This is like some David Cronenberg Mario movie.
It is! If Mario movie was... Yeah. Welcome to the Mario Brothers movie, directed by David Cronenberg. Because, look, okay... Please don't give any personal information. Okay, I was scared it was going to be Pornhub.com or something. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah.
I like that this is your thing that you always want to talk about.
Yes, look. Look at this. Look at this.
Thank you for subscribing. You don't know.
Who don't know? Who didn't know?
Who didn't know?
Finally cut a stream. Thanks for being here. But I'm excited about that. That's gaming news.
Remember to change the tag or category to podcast from Syntherapy.
Okay.
Yeah, for those just joining us, we ended up doing a podcast because we were having some issues with the resolution of the game, so we'll test that out. And
I mean, look at this. Look at this gif of the movie. This was for children, by the way. No kink at Mario? How about that?
Yeah, that's another thing with the whole kink at Pride stuff, and I'm like, do we realize that music videos
and also if it can be shown on primetime television, it should be allowed at Pride 100%. Because I know that Lucifer was on primetime television, and he was a weirdo.
Chat.
What?
Chat.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Yeah, which, I'm not saying that, yay, it's good just have naked people everywhere, but...
Okay, cover up the important parts.
I guess I'm not trying to make a value judgment about whether it's good or bad that we have nudity and sexuality everywhere. I'm more just saying that people are being very inconsistent about how they choose to apply it, and
something I've noticed is that when people enhance the sexuality of any action a queer person does because they inherently think being queer is sexual.
Yeah.
So an example I'll say is when people are like, oh, Chris and Daniel from Life is Strange 2, you know, they might fall in love. And people are like, oh, they're kids. You want them to fuck? And I was like, I think everyone's just imagining the same level of, like, childhood, like, crush as when you see every movie ever about two little kids falling in love. Like,
and, like, holding hands and, like, bringing each other dandelions and shit. Yeah.
So, like, people just inherently think, oh, well, you can't sexualize kids. I want you to think about the movies you've seen and tell me you've never once seen a little boy and a little girl, like, giving each other flowers and holding hands and sharing secrets in a treehouse and shit, okay? If you can promise me you've never once seen that in your life, you're a liar, and I'm going to gouge your eyes out.
Anyway.
Sorry, that was aggressive. You don't deserve to see if you can't see. Manga pirate sentenced to 3 years in prison and fined over $600,000. Oh. Jesus. Manga pirate? No, why? Most famous manga,
the most famous manga piracy site.
Wow.
After a global manhunt.
For this manga stealer.
Oh, wow.
Do they put the manga down? You sick fuck. You know that person looks at the weird hentai. Manga Mora launched in 2016, and within 2 years it was already under investigation by Japanese authorities after complaints from major manga publishers.
I mean, yeah.
I'm imagining, like, them capturing this person in anime. You know what I mean? Like, I don't imagine it with real people. I imagine it with anime characters. Mm-hmm. Can they make an anime about finding this guy? I would love that. Make it like Death Note, like high tension.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Sapphic. Finally caught a stream. I know, everyone's like, I finally caught a stream, and we're just sitting here dicking around.
Yeah, we are. That's who we are.
Yep.
We're dicks. That's a cool piece of gaming.
How's life been lately? Should we give life updates? You're fully vaccinated?
I'm fully vaccinated.
I'm almost fully vaccinated.
My arm still had the bruise on it for like 2 weeks after. It was weird.
Oh, I've been doing allergy shots, so I've been getting 6 shots every week.
Hell yeah, dude.
So there's just like, you know, on the special picture site, whenever my arms are visible, there's just like bruises all over the back of them. But yeah, and I'm going to be heading back to the office, which is going to be really weird because I haven't been there since March 2020.
Uh-oh. This guy's getting outed as a Minecraft cheater. How do you cheat at Minecraft?
Oh, I heard about this.
How do you cheat at Minecraft? I don't get it. I ended up finding out that I had actually been using a disallowed modification during 6 of my live streams on Twitch Stream Route and have since removed Pastebin post. At the time, we were just starting to record videos on Minecraft. We had just hired a developer to help with coding mods for videos. Me and George had no experience with mods, only plugins. One of the mods that we're working on was an overall recording mod that I use in every video. I don't understand.
Basically, they just cheated with mods.
But how do you cheat at Minecraft? That's, like, the question I'm having. Like, what was the competition?
Oh, did it not mention at the top? Speedrun.
Oh, okay. All right, then that makes it a little bit more high stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an accident. No, every speedrunner who gets caught cheating, they always say it was an accident. Always. But I also don't think it's a big enough deal to tell them they should die, for sure.
No.
If you ever, like, I get it. Getting so angry to the point where you're like, I just want to tell him, don't do it. Is it worth being that person?
I don't really get being that angry over Minecraft speedrunning cheating.
There's been things where, like, I just see a comment or something and I get really angry and then I'm like, no, that's stupid to get mad over. You know? And I'm trying to, like, understand why someone would be that insane.
Yeah. I'm actually, now that you say that, I'm thinking back to literally something I saw 1 or 2 days ago that made me so fucking angry. And it was like a dumb, like, troll post. And I was just like, I kept seeing it, like, on my feed several times. And I kept saying to myself, don't engage. Do not engage. Because if you do, you're just going to get, like, really pissy and, like, it's not worth it.
And they're going to be at their computer going, Yeah. Like, sometimes it's good to stand up for what you believe in if someone's genuinely just being a dick. And other times it's like, if somebody's just out there to drain your energy, and try your best.
Enough people were already yelling about this that, like, me contributing was not... It wasn't going to help me in any way, and it certainly wasn't going to, like, make the situation any better, so I just, you know...
Another thing I've learned is that I have to teach myself not to feel like I owe random strangers on the internet my emotional attention for their problems. Like, because I always be like, well, I have to listen, otherwise, like, I'm a shitty person. It's like, okay, but I am giving so much emotional energy to people I don't even know. Or, like, and I'm completely depriving myself of that energy for myself and to, like, take care of myself and make sure I'm okay. So, like, make sure to, like, when you're on the internet, like, sometimes you might be triggering yourself without even realizing it. And I know it's unfair to, like, have triggers and then go on the internet and feel like nobody has your back. Stacey and I will always try to cover every trigger we can think of. But at the same time, like, remember, it's okay to watch only cartoons for a while. Like, people wonder why I like cartoons as a full-on adult. It's the only form of media where they don't just, like, add in something completely, like...
There's not going to be, like, surprise sexual assault.
Yeah, and there's not going to be, like... And then they, you know just think of an example, because I don't want to upset someone right now.
Yeah.
But, like, I know that everyone's like, we're in the golden age of television. I'm like, is just putting a bunch of stuff that deeply upsets me in a show actually good writing? Because I feel like when I watch Adventure Time and stuff, they also cover topics about, like, being traumatized and stuff, but in a way that's, like, in my opinion, more respectful and stuff. So, sometimes I wonder, like, I get it, and it's allowed that people want to watch something fucked up sometimes, and that's okay. But I feel like it's, like, every single show now. I would like to have a show where it's a little bit more wholesome. I don't know.
I either want stuff that is like one or the other on the areas of the spectrum. I either want it to be like The Good Place or, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that I watched that's fucked up, but, like...
I think The Good Place had the perfect balance of, like, these fucked up things happen to these people, but also it's not, like... It's the way they deliver it.
There's investment in character growth that there isn't in a lot of those other, like, we're just going to make a bunch of fucked up things happen.
Yeah.
And then that's it, you know? Like, because I feel like... Yeah, Lemonsy says, I feel like it's the golden age of content in that there's loads available, not that it's good necessarily.
I think a good example is that in The Boys, a lot of really, really terrible things happen to the characters.
I love that show.
But I'm also invested in them because they take time to also have character development and plot development and meaning. Because, like, let's say when Homelander does something extremely disturbing and messed up, there's, like, meaning behind what he's doing. Like, it makes me understand him as a character better. And then I have inappropriate romantic feelings for a supervillain that I shouldn't like. It's wrong, and I know it. I'm sorry. But then, like, let's take another example. It's, like, the later seasons of Game of Thrones. I really liked the books, and I was always, like, you know, I liked the women in the books because there was a lot of sexual assault in the books, but it was always to, like, explain something to you, you know? And in the show, it was just, like, a lot of the women in the books who got themselves out of horrible situations are like, but what if we just made it so the horrible situation happened? And I was like, why? What's the point of that? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, that scene had meaning and you changed it, and you don't even understand why.
Yeah. Let's go see what's going on either, maybe on Polygon. What are they up to? Polygon. Is that a Pokemon?
Yes.
What
Take
do you
me to polygon.com.
Okay.
Invincible was fun, by the way.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that, but I've heard good things.
Imagine if it was The Boys, but minus all the sexual assault, but not minus all the gore.
Wait a second. Overboard is a game that lets you murder your husband and cover it up.
Wait, okay.
What is this? We need more games about husband murdering. Oh, it's a detective game where you play a woman on a ship in the 1930s trying to solve the murder of your husband. There's just one twist, and it's a great one. You're the one who killed him, so you're just trying to pin the blame on someone and escape to America scot-free.
Yes, girl boss. Keep gaslight girl boss. Yes. I know that people are like, oh, you shouldn't, like, worship, like, bad women. First of all.
Shut up.
Yes. First of all, shut up.
First of all, shut up.
Second of all, like, in real life, I'm a baby, and female supervillains embody a lot of the confidence and lack of giving a fuck that I would like to embody, but I obviously don't want to be a female well, a little bit, but, like, obviously I'm not gonna, like, hurt people the way that those characters do, but I like the, like, just pure, like, not giving a fuck about other people because I'm incapable of doing that.
People worship Don Draper, okay?
People don't even know he's a bad person.
Yeah. And it's fine if you want to be like, hey, like, I love, like, the aesthetic. I love the vibe. Like, I love the show. I'm not hating on that whatsoever. It's more that, like, you know that we're aware of, I know when something's fiction, right? It's okay for me to look at, like, an absolutely horrible person, a villain, and say, I want to fuck them because they're hot, or wow, I wish I could be them, and not actually do it, right?
I would do it, though. Because it's not possible, too, because they're not real. Someone's like, only female villains, not Cruella, though. So I've been hearing a lot of really good things about that movie, but every time I'm like, but she kills dogs. Couldn't you have picked a different female supervillain? But I did hear, like, a lot of really good things about it.
I've heard people that really enjoyed it, and then I've also heard some really dumb shit. Like, so it was, like, either one or the other. People either were like, whoa, I love this, it, like, looks so cool, and it's, like, a really good time, or they hated it. So, I think that, but I don't know. I'm not one of those people who needs a movie to be, like, I don't know, Oscar winning to enjoy it, you know? It can look pretty. I like Riverdale, okay? I love the show Riverdale. It's the stupidest fucking trash. But
I've seen clips from the Cruella movie, and I know for a fact you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
See,
and when I see that, I'm just like, yeah, I know that this is like...
Yeah, I like garbage. What?
I saw the film, and it was pretty dumb.
But was it fun? Did you smile?
Yeah. And yeah, like, if it's, like, what, just campy, fashion, goofy, fun cinematography.
Spoilers for, like, the last few seasons of Once Upon a Time that nobody watches, so this isn't really a spoiler.
Thank you for the bits, physics. Wow, if villain bad, why hot?
You know what? You're right. If villain bad, why hot? Exactly. In the later seasons of Once Upon a Time, Cruella's the only villain in all of, like, the Disney universe who doesn't get a redemption arc. Because it's like, how do you defend someone who kills dogs just cause?
They try in the Cruella movie.
I don't care. I'm gonna watch it.
No. They tried to give her, like, the tragic backstory reason, and it's like...
What? Just...
Do you want me to just tell you?
Okay, everybody, you ready for, like, a movie that sucks? Spoilers? Tell me.
Dalmatians push her mom off a cliff.
Are you for real? Shut up. And so that's why she wants to kill... What?
Dalmatians. Yeah, so that's why she grows up and decides she wants to skin dogs, because dogs pushed her mom off a cliff. Like, these evil dogs. Oh my god, I've seen...
Like, the dogs on purpose killed.
I've watched the scene. It's so stupid. But, yeah.
Maybe it's stupid on purpose. Maybe they're like, it's like a joke, because it's so stupid.
I kind of wish that they would just let someone be evil, you know? Also, you know what they could have done? They could have just made it like her mom had a pet Dalmatian and loved the dog more than her. Now she hates Dalmatians.
Stacy,
what?
I think you're gonna like spoilers for like season 7 or something of Once Upon a Time when they ran out of ideas.
Oh, yeah.
In that one, Cruella is the only villain who doesn't have like some sort of sad backstory. You find out she just wants to kill people. She's just a bad person.
See, I respect that though.
And like the season's like, she's like, you took away my happiness and I'm gonna get my revenge. And you're like, whoa, how did they take away her happiness? Because like that's like a main thing. Turns out they had written down, because they were like, they had the person who took away her happiness had simply written down, Cruella can no longer kill anyone, because like whatever they write becomes true forever. And so her happiness was killing people. And
this is making me really want to go back to that show, because it's
Once Upon a Time is like, what if we did that? And then they did.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good, but like, don't expect anything like, it's so corny.
Yeah, but that's what's the fun part about it.
And the evil queen, it's like, I keep being like, stop liking her. She really is a war criminal and a rapist. But then I'm like, that outfit is bomb. Like, I'm like,
gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
I know, and they're like, she can have her redemption. She should go to jail though, because she did murder a village of people.
She murdered lots of people.
It wasn't just that she kidnapped everyone and gaslit them and like manipulated them to her whims. She is like...
Well, Social Commie Fuss says, my mom wanted to stop watching Once Upon a Time after the first season because she said the bad guys just kept winning too much.
And then, yeah, that show is like amazing, but also like... You have to be okay with problematic things.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, if that's your thing, it does a really good job of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
because it's like so hard. Because it's like so hard to hate her because she looks so sexy.
Thank you, Bisected Brioche. Just dropping by to resub. First day back at work. Needs sleep. Please go sleep.
Please go sleep, 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 sleep. The devil should have mommy issues because her mom didn't want a kid. It gave her love to her dog. It does sound like a better idea.
That's like that's kind of like what I was saying. That because I feel like that's like a real reason that somebody would grow up and like be kind of traumatized, you know?
You know what? Why can't we just have people who are fucking evil? Sometimes people grow up, nothing bad happens to them. They grow up and just think that other people don't really count as people. And just are shitty people. I understand that. I actually enjoy the whole, like, there's a reason why we make villains in our society. Like, I like that. But at some point, we do need to have some characters who just are shitty. And I think that would help a lot of people stop thinking the best in others. 2021, stop thinking the best in others. Yeah. I'm not. I stopped.
I can go for either one. I think I don't like it when it's like, you can tell the writer is kind of like bending over backwards to justify like absolutely horrible things. And it's like, sometimes I appreciate a little bit of like context, but at the same time, you don't have to try to like actually justify their actions. You know, I'm comfortable with being like, yeah, they're still evil though.
I really liked Black Panther's antagonist because I was like, he's right. Mm-hmm. He's right, though. Like...
it reminds me kind of like sci-fi, when it's like they feel like they have to explain all the sci-fi stuff in like current science stuff. And I'm like, no, just make shit up. It's science fiction. It doesn't... Some of it, you can have it where it like... is based in physics, but other stuff just make it up.
I think if the show establishes, like, the first season or something, a certain set of rules.
Yeah.
And then breaks it, that, like, upsets me. But if it just starts off with, like, oh, no, the tickle pops. And you're like, yeah, I don't know, sure. Yeah.
Star Trek rules. Nothing.
Like, no, Star Trek did have rules.
They do have rules, but they also have plenty of things that are just...
No. They don't break the established rules. When they want something new, they just go, space clouds came.
I don't know. I think they break their established rules all the time.
In Star Trek The Next Generation, they did have a set of rules. And the other ones, they stuck to the same rules, but they also, like, They had some, like, person who was in charge of jargon to make it at least so the jargon was consistent. And that's what I appreciate, because then it makes me feel like, even though I don't quite understand the science because it's not there, it helps me, like, feel like I understand what's going on, you know?
Maybe I'm thinking of just, like, all the times that there were, like, logic gaps in, like, what people are able to do versus not able to do.
I'm just talking about, like, warp drives and shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay, warp 9, fastest you can go, because warp 10 is literally being everywhere in the universe at the same time. That kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Or, like, if we're going to stress the engines, we have to take off the replicator. That kind of shit. Because it's like, that makes sense to me. I understand why there's an issue now. Blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of this book series that I read where, you know, there was, like, magic and, like, magical creatures, and I really liked it, but one of the things that, like, irked me about it is that, like, it felt like every time the character got themselves, like, written into a corner, there was, like, a new magical ability that would suddenly become available to them, or, like, yes, reader, you didn't know that I was actually able to do this because I secretly have this thing. And it just kind of felt like that was used a lot.
So a book series I really enjoy but was written really terribly, and that's not a bad thing because it was written by literally a 15-year-old.
Oh my god, are you going to talk about...
Aragon?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Don't sigh at me. I'm going to talk about Aragon. The Dragon Circle, or whatever the fuck he called it. If you, like, explain the plot verbally to someone, you're like, that is some social justice. I love it. That ending is very pro-women. I love it, blah, blah. If you read it with your eyes, you're like, oh my god. This is terrible. But one thing I liked about it is that they put a lot of effort into the magic system and also put a lot of effort into the unintended side effects of not using the magic system correctly. Because there's, like, one character where he sees just, like, this abandoned girl, and he says in Elvish, "May you be protected from harm." Oh. But what he accidentally actually said was, "May you be a shield for harm." So, like, her being a baby, she knew, like, whenever anybody was in danger, and she had the power to stop it. But because she was, like, a baby, it drove her insane. And then he was like, oh my god, I'm responsible for basically this broken girl. Because he meets her, like, just, like, 2 years later, and she's like...
So when she's 3?
Yeah. She, like, is 3, but acts like an adult because she's, like, has everyone's, like, darkest, most horrible thoughts in her head.
Oh, no.
And she just kind of, like, looks at people with, like, dead eyes, and she's like, I want you to make this stop because I'm going insane.
Wow.
Yeah. But, like, there's all kinds of things in there. And he talks about, like, consent and stuff. And I was like, bro, you're, like, 17 when you wrote this. Like, you're woke as fuck. I love it.
It's sad that that's considered woke.
Yeah, but this was made in, like, 2001 by a homeschooled kid. I respect the drip.
No. Totally. That's more of an indication on society.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is sad that, like, we're like, whoa, like, that's so amazing, when hopefully we get to the point where that's just, you know.
Well, he did call out that elf that was a furry who was using furry pheromones to make women like him, so. That's what happened in the book. There were furries, and there were elves who chose to be furries in the books. Because if you're an elf, you can choose what you look like to an extent. And so some were like, I want to be a cat. I want to be a cat man.
Catman?
Yeah.
Let's see, what have I been... Oh, I actually just read this book that was weird because, like, I feel like if I had remembered, you know, do you ever, like, put something on a list and you're like, oh, yeah, and then you forget what it's about, and you're just, like, you're like, I was interested at one point, I'll just, like, start reading it, and I usually don't read, like, the, like, little synopsis before I start, so I just go in sometimes knowing absolutely nothing. It was about a society where, it's a dystopian society where, when, like, so when young girls are growing up, when they first menstruate, they pull a ticket, and if their ticket is blue, then they can't have kids, and they're sterilized. And if they pull a white ticket, then that's all they can do is
only have kids.
It's not like only, but like you have to, like, your job, your duty is to, like, reproduce for the society. So it's like, you know, sometimes that's gonna line up with what people want, sometimes it's not. And, like, it doesn't, what I liked about it is that it doesn't really go too far into, like, world building. What it's more about is that, like, the girl pulls a blue ticket, and then at some point she's like, I feel really unfulfilled just, like, being a single woman on my own. And, like,
are they not allowed to date or get married?
They are allowed to date and get married. However, men don't pull tickets, so if men want kids, they would only be with a white ticket.
So if there's men who don't want kids, there's no men who don't want kids?
No, there is, but, like, if you're thinking about the fact that there's this small pool of women who can have children, and then there's a bigger pool of men who want children, they're all fighting over the white tickets. Because there's more men, like, because you've cut the pool of women in half. Or, like, I don't even think it's in half. Anyway, but she decides that she wants a kid, and she finds a way, like, and
to
it's like
unsterilize herself.
Yeah, and it's like it goes, but what the story is really about is that, like, when you want something and your bodily autonomy is taken away from you, so it's not necessarily just about, like, oh, I want to be pregnant but I can't. It's also about people who are like, I am going to be pregnant but I don't want to, and stuff like that. I don't know, I thought it was really interesting. Thank you for subscribing, Check Cats.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah, I kind of like, it's the difference between what happened in China and what happens in the United States. Like, in the U.S., it's like you have to have the baby, and in China, they're like, don't you have that baby? And there's, like, women in China who are like, I'll just pay for this baby myself, because it, like, costs, like, a lot of money to have a second child when it's allowed. They can have second children now.
I thought it was 3 kids now.
Well, it used to be 1 kid, so that's why it was an issue.
So I think so they're up to 3 kids now because the birth rate dropped. And there was an article where they talked to a bunch of couples, and basically the only couple that was like, yay, were the rich people. Everybody else was like, we can't afford more kids. Like, even like middle income people were like, it's too expensive. So, like,
Raven Mouse has given us 100 bits. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. And then there was just, I can't remember if
Tell me why it's for free during Pride Month. I saw that for like a split second. Just thought everyone would want to know. Tell me why. Free during Pride Month. It's a good game.
Twitter.
Worth it. I really liked it. I think if we weren't traumatized by 2020, we would have cried.
I don't cry anymore.
I cry all the time, constantly. Thank you for the bits, my Colwayne. Very much appreciated.
Thank you.
So if you like Tell Me Why, you can have your own playthrough for free right now.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Worth checking out.
I think in my cis opinion, so, you know, take it as you will, this was a pretty good representation of a trans guy, so I thought that was cool. But, you know, let me know if you didn't like that. But I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think I heard from people that they liked it. Of course, if you haven't seen it or played it, and you would like to, Don't Nod has an FAQ set up where you can actually look through, like, with some, like, light spoilers, any situations that, like, might not make you feel good.
Yeah.
Although I think that they kept that to a relative minimum. I think, like, it didn't feel like...
And whenever it does happen, their sister is always on their side. So, like, other characters will be on his side to, like, be like, hey, the fuck? So it's not like they're just alone and unsupported.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, they have there are mentions of stuff in the game, but it didn't dwell on it to the point where it was like, okay, this is kind of unnecessary. What else is going on? Far Cry 6. They're like, yeah, we're going to make our game about guerrilla warfare, but it's not political, though.
Just say it is.
Borderlands movie with Cate Blanchett's Lilith.
Okay, show me the screenshot. You showed me nothing. This is stupid. Like, get away from me. Mystique's going to get her wife back. Okay, cool.
Cruella director, we were just talking about this on the unexpectedly shocking origin moment. Okay, but why would you even try to give, like, I don't know, whatever.
Because they needed to be like, she kills dogs, so it's hard for people to like her. Let's try and figure something out. How about it's just like, I don't know. I think if I watch it, it'd be fun and cool, but like, ugh.
I think it's perfectly okay to just turn off that part of your brain that says this is problematic and just be like, ooh, pretty fashion.
Yeah, at the end, remember everyone, it's okay to not like something because it's problematic, but it's also okay to just enjoy something sometimes. Because I can't think of a single thing in the entire universe that's not problematic in some way.
Yeah.
I cannot think of a single thing. Cruella can be Disney and punk as hell.
Oh, God.
Why? What are you saying? Okay, that is kind of cool. I don't feel like reading this.
No.
A guide to being the most annoying person to watch Lord of the Rings with. I was be like, do you know that he cut his foot in the water and he broke his toe when he kicked that thing?
Yeah.
They did this scene with forced perspective. Hey, those are Peter Jackson's kids.
Hey, that's us, though. Forced perspective.
Yeah. Watch Gandalf hit his head on Bilbo's ceiling beam. That's Peter Jackson. Christopher Lee was a huge Lord of the Rings nerd.
Oh! Speaking of Christopher Lee, have you seen The Wicker Man? Or Wicker Man? It's like the original movie.
I've seen the original Wicker Man, yeah. Where that lady runs around and she's slapping the doors while naked. The original Wicker Man had that girl and she starts singing and she's hitting the walls while naked.
Yeah, she's dancing because she's trying to be like, come out and play and like suck on my titties.
Yeah, she gets completely naked and starts banging on the walls. But like for the time she was like a really popular pop star, so like everyone thought that was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was what I was gonna say is like it's like the original Midsummer is what it reminds me of.
What's the guy who plays Severus Snape's name?
I don't.
He's kind of sexy.
No. I know who you're talking about. Blech. He's also in the space movie. Alan Rickman.
Guess who kisses? Guess who he kisses, Stacy? Oh, he has kisses a lot of people. Guess who he kisses?
Who?
Norman Reedus. That's right. Alan Rickman. Oh, I don't know if I can show this. I'm just going to show clip. Look, there. Who is he making out with? Who is it? Norman Reedus. That's right.
10 points to Slytherin.
10 points to Slytherin. He can't get Liz, so he got someone else.
Wow.
Oh, we're gay? Yeah. Now let's hug. I don't know what movie that's from.
What?
But I found that up the other day.
What made you think of that?
I don't know.
We were talking about Wicker Man, and you're like, wait.
I don't know. I can't explain how my mind works. What is this? Oh, this isn't real.
Yeah, that's not.
If you're over 50, this game is a must.
No.
Okay?
Is it? Just click on it.
Choose your... Vikings, choose your gender. Female.
Yeah.
Spear Maiden!
Oh, are you over 18?
Okay, I don't, that's too dangerous. That's a dangerous act. Escape Room 2's first trailer could be another brilliant bait and switch. I didn't know there was Escape Room 1.
You know, I bet you now that we can actually do the video versions of Pixel Squirt, we could actually play through one of those games.
Ugh, okay. Yes, Pixel Squirt now has videos available in a way that we won't mention.
Yeah.
Check our Twitters.
Yeah.
Tumblr user predicted Venom Let There Be Carnage's breakfast scene. Tell me more. There's another Venom coming out. Have you seen the Venom movie?
I haven't seen the first one.
I think you should watch it. I think you should just watch it. It's really bad. It's terrible.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage. When is it coming out? September 24th.
I like that when you're talking to Venom, he goes, you know, I too was a loser on my planet. Thanks, iconic comic book villain Venom, for telling me that you're just a loser. Like, what? Oh, and also there's a Venom there with big boobs and a big ass.
What?
I'm telling you, this movie's like the Mask.
Okay, yeah.
Like, but not on purpose. They made the mask by accident. Like,
Venom woman. She Venom.
yeah, she Venom, but she's in the movie. Like, look at that.
What?
Venom with boobs. Yeah, that's right. When Venom had titties.
Huh.
Like, what? What are you talking about?
This? Splice all over again.
Splice was... I liked that movie, but also, if you're a sensitive person, immediately look up every trigger warning, okay?
Yeah.
It is a horror movie, and my review of it is, when I watched it in theaters, the man behind me said, no, man, don't do it. And that's my review of the movie.
No, man, no.
No, man, don't do it.
Oh, I saw this movie the other day, which was like this Japanese movie from like 1985. And as I'm watching it, there's this one character, and I was like, they don't say it in the movie, of course, because the character is just like a jester character. It's like set back in like way back when. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I'm pretty sure that actor's gay. Like,
hell yeah.
Just watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, like, because he has that kind of like flamboyant, like a goofy style, and I was like, I can't say for sure. Then I look in the credits, and he has like a mononym, an English mononym, Peter. Okay, so I'm like, I gotta know more about this guy. I look him up on IMDb. Turns out Peter chose that name for himself because he was a gay performer, and he modeled himself after Peter Pan. So he went after Peter whenever he did like productions as, I think, male presenting, because he also did a bunch of drag stuff. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, that was like kind of fascinating.
I feel like Peter Pan's a genderqueer icon because, like, you never know whoever is playing Peter Pan in any sort of like live action situation, you don't know. Any gender can play Peter Pan. So that's what Peter Pan, genderqueer icon. And if anyone else tries to co-op Peter Pan, just delete them.
Do you think it's also like kind of a commentary on like lost childhood?
Oh yeah. Peter Pan?
Yeah.
It was written by a guy.
No, like Peter Pan in the gay sense. Oh. That like that's another parallel to kind of like how a lot of, I mean, I guess things are better now, but I do feel like for a while it's like people who had to be in the closet for a very long time, they felt like they didn't get to be their true selves until like much later in life. Mm-hmm. So then it's like when they do finally get to be themselves, you know, they are re-embracing things like from their childhood. That's just what I think.
Peter Pan was written by a very weird man. And it's written about these kids that he like adopted or something. People are like, what if he was a pedo? We don't know that. There's nothing to indicate that. And the kids themselves were like, he never did anything. So I don't know. I think he was just weird. Sometimes people are just weirdos, and that's okay.
Sometimes people are just weird.
Yeah, if the kids themselves, as adults, who had no vested interest in, like, lying. Yeah. Unless I'm wrong. I'm always open to being wrong. But, yeah.
Yeah. But also, you know, sometimes people are just weird. That's just how it goes. It's true. Like, yeah. Well, are you including the movie Hook with that?
Yes. I don't know what that means, but yes, sure.
I mean, we are familiar with the movie Hook, yes, but what part?
I love that movie. Rufio, Rufio, Rufio.
As you can imagine, I had a huge crush on Rufio.
If you ever really want to devastate someone's confidence, don't do what I'm... Actually, don't actually devastate anyone's confidence. That's wrong and bad. But if you did, just start touching their face and then go, there you are, Peter. They get mad. They get real upset. Remember the part in the movie where the kid starts like trying to unwrinkle his face?
Oh.
And then he does, and he's like, there you are, Peter. Oh my god. Yeah, really just devastate their whole lives.
Oh, because Hook is a movie with Peter Pan as an adult. I see what you mean.
Yeah, but he regresses back to being a child.
Exactly. Also,
that movie was kind of weird because he was like, sorry, you're too old and disgusting. Wait, is that your granddaughter? I'm gonna marry her. And you're just sitting there like, so you spent your whole life just hanging out with me, but you see my granddaughter and you want to get married? What? He like sees her old and he just goes, ugh, drops everything. And then he goes, who's that? My granddaughter. Nice. What?
Nice.
And that happened in the movie. He went like this. Nice. And she was like, ew. Oh. And then Wendy, former girlfriend to Peter Pan, had to raise him as her own child.
I'm not remembering any of the parts that you're talking about.
In the movie, he like comes to see her all the time, and then one day he comes and she's old. And then so he sees her granddaughter and he's like, I'm gonna give her a kiss. And she's like, no, you can't do that to her because that fucking sucked for me. And he goes, fine, I'll give her a real kiss. And then she adopts him into her orphanage. And then him and her granddaughter fall in love, but they were... Wait. Ooh, actually, Hook was kind of weird, but okay. Yeah. Now that I'm remembering that movie and thinking about it, maybe that was kind of like not a weird thing to do.
Huh.
Yeah. Hook's canceled. No, not gonna think about it. It's gone.
To be fair, like any of the actual fairy tales are all messed up.
That's true.
So...
But I do feel bad for Wendy Darling in that movie. She just got totally shafted. Movies are weird, yeah. One of my favorite movies is Red Dragon because I find it romantic, and I think that's not okay. I should definitely change how I see that movie. There are plenty of stories that are messed up when you start overthinking them. That's true. Okay, Hook officially uncanceled. Have you watched Immortal Engines?
Not yet.
Okay. Please tell me when you do, because I really want to know what your reaction is.
Yeah, I keep getting distracted.
Immortal Engines is a movie about, in the distant future, every European state decided that they wanted to make giant cities on top of moving cars. but like they're huge.
I think it's just Mortal Engines, right?
Or maybe it's Mortal Engines?
Not Immortal.
Oh, sorry. Mortal Engines. And then...
Only correcting you so that if people want to find it, they can.
No one ever questions, like, hey, why are we making giant cities on top of mobile, like, things? And then attacking each other and eating each other's cities alive. No one ever goes like, hey, why are we doing that? That's kind of weird, right? Mortal Engines, terrible movie, but the whole movie is, what if we did this? And then someone said, why? And then the other person said, because it's cool, and everyone nodded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you really need. What if we did this? Why? 'Cause.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, well, why? But why are you doing that?
Okay, I do want to say, like, really quick though, I do think it's funny when people, whether us included, we watch like movies or read books or like play games, and we find like all these obvious like logical holes, or like well, this problem could have been avoided if these characters just talk to each other, or like why would they do that? That doesn't make sense. And then if you just like think about things in real life,
and like, how many problems
and how many fucking problems we have that we know how to solve but we just don't do it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, so
yeah, why didn't they just do this? I don't know. Why doesn't the United States government implement laws that will save the planet? We're all gonna die.
Why don't we have actual health care? Like,
we're all gonna die.
But it's like, and where people assume that the characters in a book must act logically, or that they must like be like cool-headed. I
do like reading characters in books who are like that, because it relaxes me. But I also am like, okay, sometimes people are just stupid.
Yeah. I think the thing that bothers me is like when sometimes people expect like that's like any victim in a situation is gonna like turn into an action hero, and like, don't get me wrong, it's really cool when like, you know, you're watching a movie and like a woman gets attacked and she like goes all badass and like kicks the person's ass, but like I think it's also plenty valid to have somebody who just freezes up and doesn't do anything.
I know
it's a real reaction.
I know for a fact, any sort of life-threatening situation, I would die.
Just give up.
It's not, even if I tried. Even if I tried to live, I would die. And I know this about myself. Mm-hmm. And so I choose not to go to, like, the Amazon. Because if anything happened, just, like, a single day where I had to, like, figure out how to, like, not die, I would die. I know this. I would be dead. Like...
Oh, you mean kind of like all those people who were like, yeah, I'd survive an apocalypse, and then they couldn't go 2 months without a haircut? Like those people? And had fucking meltdowns and protests? You remember that?
Let the weak die! I can't breathe!
Like, what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I would immediately die. There's no hesitation in that at all. For sure.
You know what is weird? Like, so my concern is that I would turn into like okay, this is like one of those like apocalypse scenario concerns that I genuinely worry about, even though it's probably never going to come true. But I truly worry that if there was a zombie apocalypse, I would become like ruthless and like kill people.
I know. And that's why,
like,
I would not
like,
find you.
I'd be like, you know, there'd be that like person reaching, be help me, and I'd be like, pfft.
No, if there was a zombie apocalypse and I heard, Mari, let me in, I'd be like, I don't know. Like, unless you were like getting attacked by zombies, then I'd let you in. But if you were just like, Mari, I'm here, and I'd be like,
she just wants my food.
No, I don't know what you would want at that point, because I don't think you would even want food. I think you would just be happy. And I'd just like, no, absolutely not. I'd be more than willing to share my food, actually. And that's why I would die. But if I heard just like, I would look outside, I'm like, zombies. All right. Knock the door, and I heard bang, bang, bang. Mari, it's Stacey. No.
No, that's a mimic. It's like those Annihilation.
Oh, like a skinwalker.
Hello.
I don't know why, but other people seem to be really scared of skinwalkers. And the concept really doesn't bother me. I don't know why. I think if it actually happened to me, maybe I'd be upset. But, like, thinking about it doesn't, like, ignite any anxiety.
Have you seen Ghost Watch?
No.
Oh, my God. Look it up. Okay, so it's from, like, 1992 from the UK.
This looks terrible. I love it.
No. It's awesome. It's, like, basically
This looks scary.
It's like one of the, like, it's a found footage ghost thing where they're like, oh, this house is haunted, so we're gonna, like, interview the family and we're gonna spend a night there with a camera crew and, like, see if hauntings happen. And, like, they set it up as if it's, like, a live broadcast.
I like this.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That sounds really cool.
And they even have, like, you know, like, call in with your, like, sightings if something's happening at your house. Like, they set it up as if it's, like, an actual, like, TV, like...
I like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What... Oh, have you ever watched Paranormal House, Inspector?
No.
It is...
Oh,
it's so bad. So, like, they have a psychic, a medium, and a house inspector come in. And they're, like... And, like, one person who researches, like, who these ghosts could be... And so, like, the psychic comes in, like, I'm feeling like a masculine energy. It's a demon. And, like, I can smell, like, blah, 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 blah. And, like, this door opens on its own. There's runes on the wall. And then, like, the house inspector comes in and he's like, it looks like you have a sewage leak. Yep, you do. And
termites.
And termites. And the reason why this door doesn't close all the way is because this latch doesn't lock all the way, so that when you guys open doors, it creates an air vacuum. And also that smell is coming from the fact that there's a dead raccoon in your wall.
Oh.
And then at the episode, haunting confirmed. And you're like, wait!
But yeah, this was super fun. Highly recommend. But what I was gonna say is this reminded me of, like, so I don't find ghosts to be scary, like, conceptually. But what does, like, so, like, watching a movie about ghosts, I'll be startled if it's, like, something surprising, but I'm not, like, genuinely scared. However, usually when I turn off the movie, because I'm scared of the dark, I'm scared that there's going to be something in the dark, if that makes sense. Not necessarily a ghost, but, like...
Yeah, what if you manifest a tulpa?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what if living in the dark and tulpas are real and you manifested it, now it's real?
Yeah. And, like, I don't know if you've ever genuinely thought to yourself, like, okay, but if I act like I'm not, like, if I act too flippant, then they're gonna have to, like, they'll come get me worse.
So I have to put on a show. Because
I'm being, like, disrespectful. And so then they're gonna, like, I'm gonna make things worse for myself if I say I'm not scared.
Yeah, but it makes sense what you're saying, actually. But what I do is, so I read somewhere, because I used to be, like, really scared of ghosts, and because I'm mentally ill, it was, like, really real to me, like, and so, I read somewhere, it's, like, if you, like, pretend that you can't see them, and you pretend like you don't notice them, they'll eventually leave you alone, because they're responding to the fact that you're responding to them, because, like, imagine, like, you're just, like, oh my god, you can see me, ah! So, anyway, I was told that, like, if I just ignore them, they'll think that I don't notice them, and so then it'll go away. And that worked for me because the logic helped me get out of that, like, craziness. So if you're, like, really scared of ghosts to the point where it's, like, out of control, I will tell you that if you purposely try to not believe they're real, it will allow your brain enough space to be, like, with the logic of if you pretend they're not real, they'll leave you alone. And then slowly your brain adjusts to go, actually, they're not actually real.
Yeah.
Like, they're not actually real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you need to go?
Yeah.